G'day to all my friends and family, and welcome to this episode of Jim's 5am Club. I'm just in the bushland here near my house, and I'm going on a bushwalk on this magnificent Saturday morning. It's springtime, it's just glorious weather. We gain partial freedoms on Monday from this lockdown. It's been quite challenging during the pandemic, but one of the advantages is that I've had an opportunity to discover my own suburb and learn about all the beautiful walking tracks that are both near and far, but all within a 5 kilometre radius of my home. So I'll be looking forward to doing a lot more of this in future. So what do we talk about today? I've already done 3 vlogs using 3 book summaries. Oh, how beautiful is that? I just came past here, and what we've got some jasmine that absolutely arrested my senses. Just absolutely glorious. Anyway, let's go on a walk and talk and chat about a topic that I've got near and dear to my heart. The past 18 months have been a challenge for most people throughout the world. Who would have ever thought that 2020 and 2021 would be years where the whole globe is held at ransom because of a pandemic, a virus that is described as the most contagious virus or disease that the world has ever seen. Far more contagious than chicken pox and all of the other diseases that we've seen so far, because its incubation period is very small, and it can infect up to 7 or 8 people at a time. So if you do that mathematically, one infected person can impact a lot of people very, very quickly. So Monday marks a day where because we've hit 70% double vaxxed, we will slowly open up our economy, our social circles, and see where it leads us step by step. But for those who are fully vaccinated, life appears to be a lot more manageable going forward than what it's been like over the past couple of years, so to speak, 18 months. Anyway, how beautiful is it here? Look at the rocks, the water coming over the rocks. And what I want to do, though, today is talk a little bit more about the pandemic, but more importantly, just try and enable us to understand the difference between misinformation and disinformation, because I wasn't quite aware that there was a difference, but the difference is dramatic. So what we've seen over the past 18 months is a huge anti-vax movement causing tremendous pain and suffering and confusion to lots of people. And it's important to put it all into perspective, because disinformation and misinformation are 2 things which, once you understand it, you're in a better position to appreciate it. So misinformation is when somebody spreads information, data that is alarming, but they're not qualified to be able to understand whether what they're distributing is fact or fiction, true or false. So they're people who rely on other people and other people's opinions to guide them in their decision-making process and their worldview. So that's misinformation. So It's not premeditated to cause pain, suffering and damage. But the author that I read reminds us that disinformation is very, very bad, because disinformation is where people spread information that they know is incorrect, and it's designed to cause pain, suffering, confusion, and to instill fear, uncertainty and doubt, and to incite public disorder. So it's important to understand that there is a difference. And if you're not a medical practitioner, and even if you are a medical practitioner, unless you're an epidemist and somebody who is specialised in viruses and pandemics, then your education may guide you, but it's not the latest and greatest view. So you see lots of people, especially amongst the anti-vaxxers, who post articles, who post vlogs and videos and YouTube where they talk about certain facts and claim that this information is bona fide, correct, and I guess peer-reviewed. But I remember watching a court case in the States where a man got up and said, like, my name is John Smith. And then he said Oxford, John Smith, Oxford, and my blah, 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 and started talking. And because he said, he was Dr. He was Dr. John Smith of Oxford. But then afterwards, you realise that he's a chiropractor. And he lives in Oxford, in California, or Ontario, I don't know, somewhere in America that's called Oxford. But by getting up and saying Dr. So-and-so, Oxford, straight away you presume that he's a leading authority from a credible institution known as Oxford University in the UK. But the reality is that he was just an imposter, a person just expressing his opinion. I remember years ago when I worked at IBM, I had a very good manager who was named Greg Gleason, who was working for IBM in various senior positions for a number of years. And he said, James, everybody's entitled to an opinion, but what you've got to understand is that some people have featherweight opinions and other people have heavyweight opinions. So not all opinions are equal. And the big trick in life is to try and identify and understand which opinions are you can use as collateral at the bank, and you can back them, and the ones you can just brush aside as being just airhead opinions. But what has happened is that the social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, vlogging, blogging, and all of that has given rise to people to voice opinions, even though they have no authority, education, or background that enables them to vet and to confirm that what they're saying is actually factually right, and from a scientific perspective, if it actually holds water. That's why we need to be very, very careful with who we listen to. And just because our auntie says that somebody around the corner got COVID or died from COVID or had a heart attack or a stroke after having a COVID-19 vaccination doesn't mean that it holds weight. It doesn't mean that the vaccine caused the problem. Because in science, one of the most difficult things of all is to prove and to understand and to assess causality. People say things. People think things. So where is this leading us? What it's actually saying is that we need to be mindful when we have people sending us information, because what happens is on the internet, even the media don't have time nor the capabilities to vet things and to interrogate the source and to collaborate and find out whether or not it's true or false, because there's a race on, and the race is between getting something out there and being first, and getting something out there that is correct, factual, and useful. And you know what happens most of the time? A lot of the journalists love to create alarm, like to create sensationalism. And because of that, a lot of them have caused a lot of misinformation to be spread amongst people. So it's not disinformation that they're spreading, it's misinformation, because they're not in a position to fully know whether or not it's right or wrong. But there are people out there who are politically motivated and economically motivated to create disinformation for one reason: to make money or for political gain. Obviously, there's a lot of people, or there are a lot of people, who are not Liberal voters. And of course, they're going to look at every opportunity to shoot the Prime Minister down, ScoMo. Sadly, even prior Prime Ministers are getting in on the action, just trying to cause disturbance, which I can't really fathom how you can be part of a political party and be out there just to, I guess, create disturbance. But that's the way the world is in 2021. So we're seeing a huge shift in political thought, in political allegiance, that impacts the way we see the world, the way we think, and the way we behave. So I won't keep on going on this, but it's important to understand that there are people that you can trust, and there are people that you really don't need to trust or respect their views, because a lot of the time they're just trying to gain attention. So as many people understand, the Australian government have health professionals, professors, who interact with the leading minds throughout the world to source and to gain a particular perspective in order to protect and manage the health and welfare of Australians throughout the country, and also to manage the medical facilities, the systems, the hospitals, so that they're not overwhelmed. But at the same time, they're also interested in managing. I'll just jump across here, just bear with me. Interested in managing the welfare of the economy and us getting back on track. Let me just climb up here. So a lot of people seem to think that the government's out there to get them. A lot of those views are views that have been inherited from people from other countries that have come to live in Australia, and it's not really the Australian way of living. But it's important to understand that politicians here in Australia, while not perfect, are a lot better than a lot of the politicians that you see from other countries throughout the world. So be on the lookout for misinformation. There's a whole stack of conspiracy theories that have hit the internet over the past 18 months. I've been able to list at least 25 stupidities that people seem to insist on. And the scary thing is that I know of some very smart people who actually believe them, which now brings into question their judgment from my perspective. So I guess I'll leave it there. So thank you very much for joining me in this episode. It's a very controversial sort of topic, a topic that people don't want to talk about. But at the end of the day, if we've got people around us who are spreading disinformation because they don't know, or worse still, spreading disinformation, which is in fact disinformation, that they know is designed just to irritate and incite people's emotions, then they're the ones who need to be put in their box and to be sorted out, and not to tiptoe around and think that just because they've got an opinion, it's okay for them to express it. Because as we said, if an opinion is wrong, if an opinion is proven wrong or can't be justified, then it needs to have the common sense approach applied to it as well. All right then, thank you very much for joining me, and we'll chat again. I look forward to coming to you again from another location with another message, a message of empowerment, where we explore the beauties of this country, the suburbs that we have around us, and we're able to make the most of every opportunity when it presents itself. Take care, everybody. Yassas, and we'll chat again shortly from a different place with a different location where we come together to be partners in each other's growth and development. Yassas, and bye for now.